What is going on, Alpha Hunters? Hope everybody is doing well this Wednesday hump day. Man, one of the best commercials of all time. I forget which insurance company did it, but it was like a camel walking through an office yelling out hump day. Pretty funny. I always thought that was funny. Um, yeah. All right. Let's see what's going on today. We have a nice. Yeah, there we go. Make it a little bit closer in. Um, Nice move on the market today. We came out the gate. I kind of thought we would roll over yesterday and going into close. Didn't happen. We actually got bought up a little bit. But we came out this morning, came up, opened a little bit higher, and then just traded higher. The first 15 minutes was very, very strong. Look at the IWM. I mean, just first 5 minutes, it opened up roughly 0.5%, maybe not quite. And then first 5 minutes, it was trading up 1.5%. It was crazy on the IWM there. But on the SPY, traded higher, hit kind of the tops it was kind of at on Monday, but it didn't take out the high from Monday, which was kind of earlier in the morning. Now, if I recall correctly, actually I do recall correctly. This wick here, now I'm thinking about it, this was I think fake. I think this was a fake wick. I think it was. Yeah, if I remember, yeah, that wick was fake. This one was real. The second wick back on Monday, that one was real. So did we actually take out? I would say this high on Monday. We got really close. Hold on. So 429.62. We did not. We missed it by about a penny. We missed tying it by a penny. So we actually hit 29.62 there. We hit 29.61. This morning, and then after that, we just started rolling over. We just started rolling over, and past 20 minutes, a little bit of a bounce. I mean, I would say this might have been like the best little run that we've had since that top. Had a nice little bounce here also, so it's not looking too bad. Really, a lot of the pains coming from the Qs. Big tech. I mean, just look at big tech. That drop we're getting there, coming down basically into the 10 exponential moving average. The Qs also had an early push. Did not take out that high from Monday either. And then, there we go. Got to selling. Just a lot of early people buying. I didn't understand it, but hey, people do what they want. So we'll see what happens the rest of the day. I'm kind of more inclined to think, since we've gotten below some of these intraday moving averages, like, the 5, where are we at on the 5? So the 5 is getting through the 10 and 20 here a little bit, but the 15 hitting right into that 10 EMA on a 15-minute time frame. And the fact that we're just kind of at these weekly lows, I kind of think we're going to break down and then push lower tomorrow. It come retest into the lower 420s, maybe fill this gap here from last Thursday, Friday. Maybe come fill that gap and then start to bounce. As you go into Friday, start to bounce. Towards the end of the day tomorrow. What's up, Corey? You said dump it, man, bro. I'm trying. I'm trying, man. I'm trying my best. I backed dump truck up. I'm trying to dump it all down a hill. But yeah, I mean, if we get down into like the 422 area, I'd be looking to be playing a short-term bullish. I'd be playing a short-term bullish. Yeah, I would be. If that happens by tomorrow, that'd be kind of nice, because I'd be taking a little bit of a bullish, short-term bullish play, and we might actually be bullish up until Wednesday of this next week. Now, a big reason why I do think that has a lot more to do with just the market and its tricky nature as we get into next week with the CPI on Tuesday and Fed on Wednesday. I think we might see Wednesday the push up close up at some levels, looking back to last August. Last August, the close of that day was 429.70. and the actual high on the day was 431.73. So if we actually did close over 429.70, the actual close on August 16th. So if we close over that, the main thing to know is you would see so many freaking headlines. I promise you would see so many freaking headlines saying we have just had the highest close we've had in 15 months, 12 months, right? Because then the next highest closing high would be all the way back here on this day, on April 21st. So, I mean, that would just bring in a lot of FOMO. Like, oh my God, I'm missing the trade. Got to get in, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm just expecting a quick dip, maybe here the next like day, early Friday, and then we start to rally, kind of going into the end of the week, and then probably be somewhere around 425, 426, maybe by as we go into Friday or next Wednesday's type move. But we'll talk about that when we get there. So, but yeah, I would just expect a quick dip here over the next day or so, and then people probably look to buy that dip, and it makes sense. We broke above. Just going back to the daily, we broke above this kind of resistance area around 4,200. So it makes sense that we kind of come down, at least retest into it, probably fill this gap, and it'll look to at least play a short-term bullish higher. But it's not going to just get me to change my medium-term outlook of bearishness. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's my game plan for now. We'll see. See what happens. Maybe it just rallies and we just go up to 430 today. I mean, shoot, that would make most sense, right? Q's not really getting too much of this rally here over the past 20 minutes. So let's go figure out what is going on. IWM outside of that early morning push, first 30 minutes, really hasn't been doing too much. Just kind of been more choppy than anything else. DIA, the Dow Jones, looks kind of bullish here. Looks kind of bullish. Getting back to the daily highs, roughly. Some higher lows coming in throughout the day. Okay, looks pretty good. Equal weight SP 500 getting kind of back to those daily highs. Wow. And so you can definitely tell how much tech has really pulled down the SPY and the S&P 500 today, because the equal weight SP 500, I mean, it's up almost 0.75%. I mean, this thing looking like it's about to ready to run to the daily highs. So not looking horrible here on the equal weight SP 500. Yeah, not looking too bad. The IWM, though, I will say this about the IWM. This was kind of that area I'd said, yeah, probably going to run up into this area. After this, man, it's going to be so tough to now continue to be bullish in this area. Up to about 189, just because of these two tops here. So I could definitely see us top out here. And I could see it, the IWM outperform the Qs. Like small cap's going to continue to probably outperform the Qs going forward. And then, but the IWM, like the rest of the market, kind of like just sells off. Like I could see that happening. Though everything kind of goes down, but the IWM outperforms the Qs. So transports look good. I mean, I like this setup. We saw some pretty good moves here on transports. Last Thursday, Friday, nice little sideways consolidation. Hasn't really broken down higher, and if it pops over this 230, 150, 232 area, like that thing might be off and running. Federal Reserve balance sheet. We'll get that tomorrow after the market close. VIX is an interesting one. Yeah, I'm like this thing has just gotten absolutely annihilated over the past 4 days, and it's kind of baffling because you don't typically see the VIX move down below 17 the way it has. Like usually, like it's a slow grind lower. But this was just such a sharp move over 4 days. I mean, I went back and looked at history, and there's like maybe one or two other times in history that kind of happened. It doesn't happen often. And both times it actually did happen, we still saw quite some bearishness afterwards. But we can go look at that if you guys want. Dollar, nice little lower wick there on the dollar. Okay, so the dollar dropped off, but man, it had a rally since 10 Eastern. This thing's been rallying a little bit pullback here over the past 25 minutes. And that might be what's getting the market to kind of turn a little bit bullish as the dollar's coming back a little bit. And that, I mean, this kind of coincides with actually the Q's SPY bearishness. The dollar was rallying all through that time. So that coincides pretty closely today. 10-year yield. This sucker has been pushing higher all day. I was like, man, is this thing ever going to stop today? I really didn't expect it to move up as much as it has, but that looks pretty good. 10 to 2-year inversion. I don't expect too much out of the inversion yield actually until we get to maybe next Tuesday or Wednesday. And then I would expect to see the snap come down, maybe even fill this gap here. And it's so hard to like call that just because it's two things kind of paired together. But if that happens, I mean, and we start to bounce, then we just come wick down, fill this gap, and then we bounce. Like it, that I mean, that might be it there on the 10 and 2. Gold, for how much dollar actually is pretty flat on the day. I know dollar has a huge lower wick. Dollar has a huge lower wick on the day. Gold, the DXY, or not DXY, the GLD has gotten absolutely annihilated. Look at that move. And this basically coincides with that same kind of time when the DXY, kind of bottom. Gold actually topped a little bit before, but I mean this move on the GLD and gold just not looking good. What about SI? How's silver doing? Silver not as bearish. Nice little upper wick there. How's the SLV? Yeah, same kind of deal. All right. Okay. Man, if I can tell you one thing though, if silver got back down into this freaking zone, I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna go out years on some leap options. I'm not. I feel like I've missed that opportunity so much, but you don't know. Regional banks are going to have issues when they have issues. Ooh, we got nasty bearish moves here on the HYG. HYG and LQD. Yeah, okay, so here's what's interesting. So obviously we know we had a gap up here between Friday, Tuesday, right? Friday, Tuesday. This is in last week. Friday the week before and Tuesday of last week when Monday was a holiday. But we just filled. We basically essentially just filled that gap, and we're just kind of jiving in that zone where we filled that gap. But man, look at that move. That also coincides with strong dollar. Strong dollar. Was that about the same time that yields were moving higher? Yeah, yields lifted off. So what was there major balance of trade? That was at 8:30. So that's not 10 o'clock Eastern. So I don't really see anything. I mean, there might not be on TradingView's calendar there, but there might have been something. There might have been something out there. The LQD though, I mean, that was just one nasty retest last week into these previous lows. Same kind of deal with the HYG. Same kind of deal, but HYG was looking a lot stronger over the previous couple of days until today. That is a pretty nasty drop there today. Brad, what's going on, brother? You said same day SPX calls. Same day SPX calls, man. I don't like the whole same day stuff on options unless you're selling. If you're selling them, fine. Like, dude, take in that premium, baby. I like premium. I love me some premium. Yeah. Nice. I mean, that's nice. So let's continue to look around the market. So we're gonna do some. Oh yeah, we look at the big tech in here. Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Intuit is getting hit. ServiceNow is getting hit. CRM, Adobe. Okay. Some pay providers. PayPal. You can see PayPal here. Visa, MasterCard. And these guys, Visa, MasterCard, let's take a look at them because they've been kind of bearish before. Yeah, okay, a couple weeks ago, they were pretty bearish. I'm going to tell you, very important level here on Visa is this freaking low on May 31st, just because of how much volume came in on that day. That is hugely important for Visa guys. Same deal with MasterCard. Same like in today's move on MasterCard, that is looking quite bearish. That's looking pretty bearish too. But how's the intraday? I mean Visa might continue to grind higher. How's MasterCard saying no? We're gonna start breaking down because MasterCard making another low here, or a lower high at least. Hasn't quite broken this down around 371. Yeah, I would definitely be very mindful if you're a Visa owner or MasterCard owner. That low on May 31st is very, very important. What does PayPal look like? Yeah, PayPal's gotten slaughtered over the past like 2 years, year and a half. If you understand PayPal's business and really like them, like it's not a bad shot. Hold on. Is it taking out its IPO low? That's enough of a mix below. I mean, it's not a bad spot to be taking some shots. The other thing you could do is probably go to this 50 strike here and just do put sells and just say, hey, you know what? If it comes back below 50, you got a pretty good support level here around the 45 to 44 level, 45 to 40 level, with some of these way back tops back in like 2015, 2016, that you could say, hey, you know what? If it gets below 50, I'm willing to own it anyways, but you're going to be collecting pretty good premium before then, at least. That might not be a bad play, actually. Okay, so let's go check sector rotation. But yeah, Visa, MasterCard, man, that level was very, very important on both of those. May 31st. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that one. All right, let's see what. I already know tech is probably going to be in the doghouse, and tech, communications, and discretionaries, right? Maybe not so much discretionaries. What am I doing? Sector performance. There we go. So here's sector performance on the day. Energies are up doing pretty good. Okay, so energies are doing really well. Yeah, tech's down at the end, down at the bottom end. Communications down there. Staples is in line kind of with the market. Healthcare also. Discretionary is a little bit outperforming, but basically in line. Financials are outperforming. Good for them. Real estate, utilities, industrials, materials kind of all up there outperforming. Okay. So if we take out the gap, what's the intraday action look like? Yeah, okay. So discretionary communications is like big tech is just getting hosed today. That's what it is. Big tech's just getting hammered. And then energies having a good day. They've been getting bought up throughout the day. Yeah. So they're looking pretty good. Industrials, real estate, utilities up there. Materials. Industrials, real estate, utilities. Yeah, material. Okay. Staples, financials, and healthcare outperforming. So Staples and healthcare had a little bit more of a gap up, and they haven't really seen the intraday buying, but still not doing too bad today. Still not doing too bad. Okay, fair enough. Kind of want to go look. So since we had, I'm kind of curious to see, why is energy stock so good today? I wouldn't say energy's crazy bullish today, but gasoline's crazy bullish today. So crude oil is not super bullish, but gasoline is super bullish. That's a pretty strong move there on the gasoline side. Exxon then. Okay, Exxon's not looking too bad. Yeah, and the fact that it just is getting above these highs back from May 24th, that's going to be pretty good. Obviously, it's going to have a huge one here May 8th, that high. If it can take that out, it could be big time. And then, okay, so that's Exxon. Chevron. Chevron also looking pretty good today, up 2.5%. ConocoPhillips up over 3%, 3.25%. Wow. Phillips 66 up 4%. Man. Yeah. Wow. What else we got? Where's energies? Oh yeah, Oxy has a little bit of an upper wick there. Ran early, but not doing the best since. And then EOG Resources, they were doing pretty good, up over 3% as well. They're more of a natural gas play. Take a look at natural gas here in a second. Valero up almost 4%, 3.75, looking pretty good. So what? Natural gas. I mean, natural gas isn't up all that much. Up 2.75. Okay. How's UNG? Yeah, that's what's tough about playing UNG. Just those contract rolls kill that thing. All right. How's the AAPL? Everybody's favorite stuff. Oh my gosh, look at that huge upper wick on the daily. Man. Some bullishness here over the past like 30 minutes or so. Not looking horrible. Looking pretty good. But yeah, strong buying came in on them first 20 minutes, and ever since it's just been slowly grinding lower as well. I mean, that very much looks like the S&P 500. Not quite the same. A little bit different. Not quite. Q's, man, the Q's got wrecked so hard. I mean, how much did this move off? 2.75. It moved not 2.75, 2.25. From high to low, the Q's went down 2.25. Jeez, that's so you're probably gonna get a little bit of a bounce here. It's getting pretty close to that 10 daily, so it makes sense that it might just stop there for the day. Might see it roll back down a little bit. I could not see the Q's breaking that low. The low it put in today. I don't see it breaking that low today. AAPL. So okay, run through some of these sectors. Might look at some commodity stuff today, besides just crude oil, gasoline. Tech. Hold up. Did high 168.04. So Tech has a higher low here between May 30th and June 5th. And the Qs actually have a little bit of a higher high. High 57, 50. So the Qs they also did not take out the high on June 5th. Like today's high did not take out the high from Monday. So that's kind of important distinction. So tech looking pretty good. Communications might start to see some weakness here in communications. Discretionary. Discretionary is, I think it was like yesterday. I don't even know if I did it on live stream, but discretionary is still not performing like at all. I know it's been bullish and people like to focus on Tesla and Amazon. We just recently broke. I think I did do this on live stream, but we just recently broke above that Feb high, and the XLC. I mean, it did it like a month ago. XLK did it, a while ago. I mean, you couldn't even tell that XLK had even a pullback back in March. Very subtle. So, yeah, XLY not looking the best there. Staples had a huge gap down today. Healthcare. They kind of gapped down, traded down a little bit. Not a whole lot. Utilities. 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 All right. XLU. Up 1.3%. Like, people came in and bought up some utilities today. Okay. How is... Hold on, let me check Dominion. Dominion's doing pretty good today. 2.5%. All right. XLE, yeah. We know energies are going to be doing pretty well today. Looking really good. Up 2 3/4, basically. Very nice. Financials, nice little lower wick. Continuing higher today. Looking pretty good. Industrials, pushing higher. All right. Materials, also pushing higher. Real estate, pushing higher, up about 1.5%. Nice. Okay. That's the mid. So definitely be watching. Oh man, look at that SPY G, SPY V. Oh my goodness, look at that drop on the SPY G. On SPY G. SPY G. Yeah, SPY V. Yeah. Growth value. I'm gonna back this out here a little bit. So yeah, we saw it top out early, just before 2022. It topped out about the same time the Qs did, right? Actually, let me check. Let me check. So the SPY G, SPY V actually topped out. What day is this? November 30th, and I think the Qs topped out about the same time. The Qs actually topped out on November 22nd. November 22nd. I was just trying to see if there was like, hey, you know, SPY G, SPY V, or that this relationship topped out before we saw the market roll over, before the Qs topped, but it didn't. It didn't look like that was the case this time. Yeah, that's starting to be a little bit too much of a downward kind of trajectory off of a pretty large uplift there. What? So May 25th, was that NVIDIA's earnings day? May 25th? Yes, it was. All right. Yes, it was. Let's take a look at NVIDIA while we're here. Open higher on NVIDIA and has traded lower, down 1.15% currently. See what happens the rest of the day. Starting to get really tight in here, though. I mean, it has oscillated a little bit higher and lower, higher and lower. Now it's starting to get real tight. Let's see if it breaks down. It might quickly break down, bounce off this 10 and push back higher, but I mean, time will tell. We'll figure that out. Whoa. Okay, never mind. AMD, how's AMD doing? AMD did have a good day yesterday, down 4% today, though. Then, how's Intel doing? Intel, meh, it's having an okay day. AVGO, I think Broadcom is the one that really got ahead of itself. Yeah. Anyways, that's Broadcom, Qualcomm. Okay. What about XLY, XLP? Ah, man, discretionaries and staples. This is just ridiculous. I mean, this is starting to be like... Yeah, that's it's been on a pretty strong move, especially over the past month or so. But is it coming from XLY or is it coming from XLP? Like, XLY's been slightly bullish, and it's really been more like the past 2 weeks. XLP, it's really been more of the XLP. I mean, look at that move on the XLP. It just absolutely got annihilated. So, yeah, I'm not really convinced that XLY is the way to go here. And let's see, is XLP... And that's the thing, is like XLP is on a pretty good support area just because it's bounced at these levels, kind of at the upper end of this of kind of bounce range right? Kind of just like right in throughout this area. So I mean, I can see it come down a little bit lower just because that seems to be the norm. But if it gets below it, I mean, you got like this major low that we hit back in October. I have a hard time believing the staples would break that down. And then what you got, like XLY could definitely come down. Obviously, you're gonna have a pretty good low here in December. How much of a move would this be on the discretionaries if that happened? See, that'd be about 19% staples if they broke down. That's only like an 8.5% move. So that's kind of like I don't know. I feel like that was might have been like the end part of this bullish run that we've had since the start of the year on XLY XLP or discretionaries versus staples. So we might start to see that switch now, and we might have started it today with this little gap up here. We might start to see discretionary sell off more than staple sell off, but I'd imagine staples probably do continue to subtly sell down going forward. I'm not really wanting to be bullish on the IWM, but I'm sure a lot of people have been tracking the IWM-Qs relationship, right? IWM-Qs, it's huge move off the bottom here. And I wouldn't really be bullish on the IWM, but if you did a pairs trade where you were bullish on the IWM, short the SPY, I could get behind something like that. So if you wanted to do something like that, I could totally justify that and understand your logic in doing so. Not to say the IWM couldn't go lower. I just think the IWM, even if they go lower, the Qs are going to lead us lower faster. So that's just kind of where I'm at with that. But yeah, I mean, this could be a really good trade here on the IWM Qs. As yeah, I mean, it just snagged the all-time low there, and I know some people, we can look at Qs IWM just because tech IWM, but what do you have here? This is a false breakout, right? And we are just now getting. I'm not gonna say just now, but today we came back below these highs. Basically, the high that we put in back in 2000. Let me do this. Let me do NDX, NASDAQ 100 RUT. Cause I don't know. Yeah, okay. So did we actually take out the all-time high? We did not quite take out the all-time high. The all-time high on that relationship was March of 2000. So we did not quite take that out. But we did snag this high. And yeah, it's and typically you don't want to see that. You don't want to see such a far-reaching move to take out a high, because that, to me, usually whenever I've seen them, it's a false breakout and it comes back down, and then it just starts to go the other way. Anyways, I mean, I could definitely see the IWM being stronger than Qs for a good while now. So, I mean, look at this move all day. The Nasdaq versus the Russell. I mean, just all day, just getting annihilated. Jesus, crazy. It's just nuts. See the market turn over here a little bit. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Let's go take a look, see what the interest rates are doing, or not interest rates, but rate probabilities for next week. I'm kind of keeping an eye on this, and we might not get a very solid answer on these rate probabilities until we get to Tuesday and we get CPI data. That might just determine this, just because, I mean, this thing's been moving so much over the past 2.5 weeks that, I mean, flip a coin. and that might drive which way this thing goes. I mean, it's just been that crazy. Um, for July, seems like that's crazy to me. There's an even higher chance of being up 50 basis points in July. And it's like, how do we do that if we don't raise in June? Because they're not going to raise 50 basis points in July. I don't know what people are thinking. Man, it's getting weird out there. So, anyways, July looks like it would be a quarter point rate hike. September would be a hold. November would be a reduction back down to our current level. Okay. November would be a reduction. And then December would be a hold. So currently looks like a hold June, rate hike in July, hold September, rate reduction in November, back down to our current level, and then December would be a hold at our current level. It is getting crazy watching that thing. Yeah, if you didn't hear about PGA and Live, I'm kind of curious just to read this. Read this article. PGA, just curious what they say. But yeah, if you didn't hear, PGA and Live Golf Tour, they merged. So S&P is undervalued because of the AI boom. I think everybody's overvaluing AI and the things AI is doing on the near term. On the near term, I think it's a little too much overblown. Just my perspective. Stocks edge higher amid new economic warnings. Curious. All right. Clickbait's gonna get me. Affirm soars with new deal on new deal with Amazon Pay. Affirm, huh? That's that buy now pay later thing, right? Affirm, I believe so. Affirm, affirmative action. There we go. Yeah, so that was such a good deal that they've basically sold off after the 20-minute pop that they had this morning. They are currently up 4%. A nice pop higher. I still have a hard time understanding how this company makes money. It just seems like they are the debt holder. Right? That's just what it seems like. It seems like they are the debt holder. It's like people get their product now, they pay the company, they pay the businesses, and yet they hold the debt. Right? It's like, are they gonna go repo, I don't know, household goods? Probably not. I don't know. I don't get the business like pay now or the buy now pay later thing. I just don't get it. I might be getting old, man. I just don't understand the new economy. Yeah, I've seen a pretty good move today. Netflix is still one that has baffled me. Nvidia, ooh man, look at that breakdown in Nvidia, down a little bit over. It got down just 1 3/4 just a bit ago. Yeah, that's a breakdown about past 5 minutes or so on Nvidia. Yeah, a lot of volume just came in on that breakdown too. So where are they getting to? I mean, they still haven't even gotten to the 10 daily. Not a big deal. If it gets under that, I mean that might end Nvidia. Like you might see people really pulling out if that happens. What? No, I don't want what? I want AAPL. Thank you. Okay, Netflix. Yeah, whatever. Amazon. How's Amazon doing? Oh wow, Amazon's down 4%, 3 3/4. Whoa. Wow. Oh my goodness, that is a shot across the bow. That kind of a move. They haven't had a bearish day like that in a while. What is this day? That's 3% down. Oh, here's a 4% day here. Back in April. But from a gap up to a sell down to be down 3 3/4. I mean, like here, similar kind of day, down 2 3/4 that day, but ended at the low. Yeah, we haven't seen a day like that on Amazon in a while. I mean, possibly this day. And that day it ended down 5.5% back in November. Wow, that's a large. That's cool. Oh man, Google, look at that false breakout. Jeez, telling you, man, that was the area to be bearish. Like not short term bearish, but I'd be long term bearish on Alphabet. I am not a big proponent of them right now. Just not. So that's Alphabet. Well, Mr. Softy. Softy. Yeah, gonna have some problems in the near term. Nice volume coming in today. I want to see one more day of wreckage on big tech. I really do. I want to see one more day of big time wreckage. So I was messing around last night, and I totally forgot to kind of mess around with some of this stuff. But I'm gonna pop in what I was messing around with last night. XLK plus what is not in tech that's big tech. Tesla, Alphabet, Meta, and Amazon. Okay, so this is like tech and plus the other big tech names. But basically what I'm doing here is I'm taking the SPY, the SP 500, and excluding all of the big tech and a lot of the other tech names, just because there's so much in the XLK. And look at how bad the S&P 500 has been. Look at that. That is crazy. Like it was trading. It's been trading lower over the past 2 months. Over the past 2 months, the S&P 500 has been trading lower. Like outside of tech and the other big tech names. But man, just crazy moves. Finally, even today, starting to see a little bit of that move back into the positive direction. But my gosh, they got annihilated. Don't worry about the numbers on the side. I just kind of want to more show you like the trend and price action over the previous kind of time period. Yeah, it's just crazy. All right. That's about all I got. Oh yeah, HE. No. Copper. Thank you. Copper. How's Copper doing? Is that a nice little clean retest? Ooh, man, it is really close. A low on April 27th. Hold on. Yeah, this is definitely the lower low. So 381.65. What was the high today? 381.15. I was really hoping to see that they actually overlapped a little bit on those wicks. That would have been really cool. I mean, that could still just be the top there on copper, but man, what a move. You know what? I just thought about what might have driven the dollar and a lot of reversal in the market today. I just thought about this. There was a headline. Canada did a surprise rate hike. Let me see if yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not gonna go look through everything. But yeah, Canada did a surprise rate hike. That actually might be what drove this. Let me see. That might be here. Balance of trade. Nope. So yeah, that might have been it. That might have been what drove the big switch in rates, dollar, and the drop in equities is Canada doing a surprise rate hike because obviously Canada not far from us, very I'm not gonna say similar economies, but I mean it's geographically really close. So say that there's some similarities. They people might be interpreting that as maybe the Fed's gonna rate hike next week. That would be interesting. Today's kind of today's gonna be pretty important if we get that close below yesterday and especially below that low. So I'll be watching that. Yeah. Not too much else going on. A lot of bearishness. It's mostly just centered around tech. CRM. How's CRM been doing? CRM. Yeah, I mean they got wrecked today. Nice push lower. That's kind of coming after a few days of sideways movement from their earnings. Not bad. Adobe. I don't know why, but Adobe, I would be bearish on Adobe. Adobe, for whatever reason, got really bullish on AI. The stock got really bullish on all the AI hype. So I'd be kind of careful around that one. Um, how are some of the staples doing? Procter & Gamble, Pepsi, Coke. Is Budweiser still hemorrhaging losses? Dude, Budweiser, man, they got some problems. Oh yeah, also Target. Yeah, man. Those are some problem areas right now. What about Cat? Deer. Cat Deer look pretty good. 3M. Okay. GE still pumping it out? Dude, GE, man. Jesus. Oh my gosh. Up 60%. Oh man. Hold on. I gotta check this real quick. Against Apple. Nope. Oh, did I grab the right day for that? I don't know if I did. Anyways. I'll just take it to the yearly high. So AAPL got to a high year to date of 42%. And then oh man, what oh, it's GE. Oh yeah, that was it. Oh, actually, I missed it. I grabbed it around the wrong date. It hit a new yearly high today, up around 64%. Jeez. GE, man, just been on a freaking. It's been crushing. Man, this thing's been crushing it. And really, it was kind of. You could have looked at last summer. It bottomed in July and didn't break down and bottom in October, late September, October. That was kind of a pretty big tell that a switch had happened on GE. Wow. Okay. I think that's really all I got. I think it's still mostly geared. The market right now is still mostly geared around switching out of big tech. Big tech has gotten very bloated. Like it's gonna be very difficult for a lot of these tech companies, and not even just big tech, but there's been a lot of other tech companies that have gotten bloated off of the past several weeks of AI hype, and it's just gonna be a little bit of pain when we get to earnings and some of these companies don't start to live up and we find out that earnings actually haven't bottomed. If earnings haven't bottomed, then we're going to see really, really rapid pace of repricing on equities because a lot of people are pricing in earnings growth from here, we've seen a lot of other, big banks like, earnings growth and AI and all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, we might not be seeing that for another 3, 4 quarters, like 2, 3, 4 quarters, possibly. Like really strong AI margin growth. So, just kind of where I'm at with it. But, we'll get to earnings season. We're going to find out, like, really if companies are generating value from AI. And I'd imagine we're gonna start to see more of the non-tech companies that implement kind of like AI tech. They are gonna probably benefit first, right? They're gonna drive. They're going to use AI to drive margins, to drive efficiencies, to drive earnings, and reduce redundancies in their own companies that they don't need certain people to do tasks that don't really bring value to the company, but it frees up people that do bring value to the company. It frees up those people and their time. So be curious to see how we close today, but that's just kind of my thoughts on you know earnings season that's going to be coming up. Be really interested to see. Oh, hourly. Hourly, we did get a little bit of a bullish doji there. Okay, all right. I mean, we're not really bouncing off of this kind of low area like we did 2 days ago. Oh no, I'm not sorry, not 2 days. Well, I mean, I guess towards the end of the day on Monday, but really the beginning of the day on Tuesday, we did get down to these lows and bounce. Now we kind of been down here for roughly 2.5 hours, and we're not really bouncing up. So definitely, it seems like to me we're just going to break down, come down, retest into a lower level, and then probably look to bounce one last time, at least on the SPY. That kind of just is the way it seems over the next maybe week or so. And the way Qs are getting wrecked, they might continue to get wrecked. And if they do continue to get wrecked, I'm going to be really interested to watch and see if when they bounce here over the next week or so, week and a half, how high they get, and do they take out the highs that we just put in on Monday? Because now that we got the breakdown, like this is very clearly a breakdown on the Qs. So I mean, they're in retest mode, and so it'd be curious to see if the SPY obviously retests back below 423. They bounce, they come snag this high, and the Qs don't do that. That might have been the switch that takes the market down, as big tech then would be in a decline. So, Alpha Hunters. That's really all I got today. Seeing the rotation out of Qs into the IWM. That was the IWM. IWM's kind of floating up at the daily highs. Qs are pushing down on the daily lows. That's all you need to know right there. All you need to know. Qs breaking down daily lows. IWM ran early and just kind of held positive, or held up at kind of the sideways daily high area. Alpha Hunters, have a great rest of your day. Take care.